I played viola for a very long time, and I also did, I think, 7 years of school. And after that, actually, in the middle of my postmaster's diploma program, I got into a 3-year fellowship at Carnegie Hall. It's actually a 2-year program that got extended to 3 because of COVID. So while I was finishing that up, some weeks it would be pretty much full-time jobs, and some weeks I would be completely off. I was gigging, freelancing like I wanted to at the time, and teaching, which I still do. And fellowship required me to teach at public schools, perform at Carnegie Hall and Juilliard, and do entrepreneurship projects, to go through like development training, put on interactive performances at schools, senior homes, doing all of those, all of the above at the same time. That was my pre-Smoothstack. I met Trent sort of at the beginning of that or in the middle of that. And when he found the coding boot camp, I wanted to do it with him because it was part-time. And by the 3rd year, I knew what my responsibilities were regarding time and like the places I need to be. So I did the coding bootcamp with him that focused on machine learning and data science and blockchain. And after that, we were sort of, my fellowship ended, our bootcamp ended. We sort of looked for a job, but also part of us were just getting ready to get married. And after all the honeymoon and stuff, that's I think when we were in the process of applying to Smoothstack. But I found out about Smoothstack because Trent found it. But it was super helpful to hear from Baha, our recruiter, who was super helpful in explaining and what was expected. It didn't feel like something that fished you off of Indeed being like, no experience needed. Like, he was very straightforward with what was going on. And I loved his orientation thing on the first day being like, everything requires 3 years of experience. And that's how I felt as soon as I went on any job board. It says entry level and everything says 3 to 5 years. And you need to know all these things that I don't know how anyone with no experience would know. So that's how I found Smoothstack, and ever since then we've been telling people about it. And what drew me to Smoothstack is that it was exactly what we needed. The trade-off for us was exactly just how it should be. You get trained for 3 months for a certain field that you might not be familiar with, and you're building your vocabulary for your knowledge in different areas or enhancing the areas that you already know, and then they sort of pipeline it towards a job. We thought it was something that we couldn't do as easily with given no experience and our background with absolutely no IT experience. And we were happy to learn more in depth, because there's so much to learn. Like, it's hard to look for a job and say, oh, our background is fintech or whatever, and kind of filter it out through that way. Whereas we could be learning something new, but we don't know which job is going to require what. So it was kind of nice to have something that we're sort of going for. Cloud is something we've been interested in the past, so it worked out. Just a process, and that leading to interviews and a job just felt really appealing and exactly what we needed. I think my favorite part was the support group we had in our cohort, and along with our lab time, Smoothstack does a really good job of training us on each topic. As you know, in any other language, like learning about one thing, like we have like 1 week on Terraform, you could spend way more than a week, but in reality, you kind of can't. So we would feel lost together, but in lab and through colleagues, we would learn to kind of own it. And if you're stuck, our colleagues were really good about helping out and problem solving together. So I think that was my favorite part of the training. And yeah, the support group was really great. I remember being a little bit scared with like mock interviews, but I think it was so perfect for what he was preparing us for. That's something that we were probably the most scared for, since none of us got to really present our full project. So the interview was where we were gonna tell them who we are. I think I was really happy when everyone was getting interviews and deployed. It was just like a really nice moment. And also Kinsey used to make us do our presentation, and the day after, everyone give one thing we liked about our teammates' presentation, which I thought was really warm and that kept our group very cordial. a lot of times you might not get that in the real work space, and I thought that made us more productive and more willing to help each other. But I think actually, even though we don't use everything that we learned in training in our team specifically, actually knowing that and how the whole flow of any project works helps us in our team today, because it's such a big team and such a big company, and even one project is massive. But the fact that we know in a much more simplified way for our project helps us understand how other teams are responsible for different things, and therefore what we can do, or does this problem belong to us. I think one of the biggest challenges that I face, and I know some other colleagues, is actually working 8 hours a day. Like, coming from a music background also, we are used to, if you didn't get to where you wanted to get to, you can practice until midnight. You're thinking, well, this sprint is due this Friday, but I'm not done with blah, blah, blah. Then it makes you want to keep working way past the hours. That was for me like a bigger challenge than like a small problem solving thing, which is also never too small. It's new. It's nothing we've ever experienced coming from such a heavy music background. It's good. It's different. It's very, very different from what we're used to. Very new, very different, but very fun. We got to visit the office a couple of times. Smoothstack is my career growth and success. I think without Smoothstack, I'm not sure where I would be today. I don't know if I would still be sending resumes. I am where I am because of Smoothstack's training, and it's nice to have at least someone that I can reach out to. It's like kind of, they got me, they got my back, and I think it's a really nice feeling of having someone or a team of people that really have got you. And I know that even if anything happens or this project ends early or something like that, then Smoothstack will help find a new project. And I think there's a little bit of nice peace of mind thinking about that. We went to it just trusting Smoothstack and trusting that we'll work really hard to get the places, or at least the same place of opportunities. We loved Smoothstack, or we loved Smoothstack.